Hi, this is Andrew. I'm here bringing you another KeyForge deck review. This here is Lamborbreak the Bully Imp. It's actually my second highest rated deck in terms of SAS, which is what it is. Um, it's fun. It's Mars, Logos, and Shadows, and yeah, I'll go ahead and walk you through it. Now, before I do that, I just wanted to mention really quick couple changes you might have noticed. I recently switched my channel over to not bear my personal name, not because I'm ashamed of it or anything, but just to be a little more gamery, and so it's now called Aviator, which is the handle that you can find me on things online like the Crucible or Jinteki if you catch me playing Netrunner or video games as well. Um, and yeah, I wanted to go ahead and do that and then throw up some cool pictures and stuff so people can figure out what is happening on the channel pretty easily. If you have been watching and enjoying these, please definitely feel free to like and subscribe. I have It's been really fun to see a few people subscribe, even though it's still a pretty low number. But it's been fun to see that some people seem interested in seeing more of this. So yeah, and I just enjoy doing it. It's not I have a real job, but these are fun. So anyway, yeah, if you want to like and subscribe, then go ahead and do that. And if you don't want to, then that's okay too. I still like you. All right. So let's get to it. We'll start with Logos, and we start with Bouncing Deathquark, which is a really fun card that is going to at least destroy an enemy creature if there's one out, and a friendly creature if there's one out. And you can just keep doing it as long as you're able to repeat the whole effect. This is a really nice way to balance out the board if you need to, and yeah, maintain that board control. We have Lab Work, gaining the Amber, archive a card, always strong. Neurosiphon, I love seeing this. Great, this is a great Logos card. Gaining the Amber, and if you have less than your opponent at that point, then you steal one and draw a card. It's fantastic. Wild Wormhole, gain an Amber, play the top card of your deck. That's just fun and fast. The Howling Pit. So this one, two-edged sword, but it gains you an Amber, and then both you and your opponent get to refill to one extra card. That can be good, can be bad, but it can be good. And I think if you have a deck, which this one is, that can take advantage of it, then it's probably a pretty good idea to drop it on the table. Then we have Brain Eater, 6 power. Nice to have a big creature in Logos, and whenever a creature is destroyed fighting Brain Eater, as long as Brain Eater survives, you draw a card. Then we have Dexter, 3 power, capture 1, and when it's destroyed, he goes back on top of your deck. Yeah, not my favorite. Dr. Escatera can be decent. When you play him, you gain an Amber for each forged key your opponent has. And then Dysania. So this is a fun one to be able to use. If you get a chance to use it, you play it, and your opponent discards each of their archived cards, and you gain the Amber for each card discarded this way. If you're in a situation where your opponent is archiving a lot, this is cool. Otherwise, it's a dead card, but 4 power, it's not bad. Quixo, 3 power, skirmish, fight, you draw a card. That's pretty cool. Can definitely be decent for board control. You have Mother as well in here. Always good. Drop it on the table. You get to refill to one more card. If you have this and the Howling Pit, that's an 8-card hand, which is pretty strong. And then we round it out with Titan Mechanic, 6 power, and when he's on a flank, each key costs 1 less. So overall, this is not a super flashy Logos set, although the Neurosiphon adds a nice kick to it. We have some just interesting tools if they happen to come out at the right time, and some big creatures for it being Logos, really. So that's kind of cool. All right. On to Mars, we have Ammonia Clouds, which is going to deal 3 damage to each creature. And notably, that's not going to, that itself isn't going to kill most of our creatures that we've seen so far. So that's something. You can, potentially do wipe most of your opponent's board without destroying your own. Phosphorus Stars, stun each non-Mars creature, gain 2 chains. I usually discard this, but occasionally it's good. Yeah, definitely situational. Combat Pheromones, gains an Amber when you play it, and then it has Omni, sacrifice itself. You can use up to 2 other Mars cards this turn. That's pretty cool. Can definitely be good. Then we have Phylix the Disintegrator, which gains you 1 power, or which has 1 power and elusive, and when you it can exhaust to make your opponent lose an Amber for each other friendly Mars creature. It doesn't say friendly ready, so they can just be Mars creatures that are on the board. They don't have to be ready. And if you have a bunch of Mars creatures, which this deck has a fair few, then yeah, this can be pretty strong. You have to protect it. It's only 1 power, but it can be, if you can do this every turn for a few turns, and you have a bunch of Mars creatures, you're going to be able to really keep your opponent off of forging. Okay. Next up, we have 3 copies of Tunk. That's pretty great. I mean, they're big, they have armor, and they fully heal for free when you play another Mars creature. So that's pretty good. And no like flashy abilities other than the heal thing, which isn't that flashy in my opinion, but they're still pretty good. You can keep that board control, and if you have these and you also have the Disintegrator on the board, then you can just be killing stuff with the Tunk, probably with the Tunks, reaping with any extras, and then make them lose at least 3 Amber. That's pretty good. We have 3 copies of the Zyma Think Drone, which is not that great. When it reaps, you can archive a friendly creature or artifact from play. The nice actual interaction this has with the Tunk, though, is if you do happen to have all your Mars creatures on the board, you could use the Disintegrator, do stuff with your Tunks, and then reap with one of the Zyma Think Drone and to put another one in your archives. And then next turn, if you want to choose Mars again, you have one available there to heal your Tunks with. So could be good for that, but generally speaking, I'm probably not going to use the May ability. Then we have Ixilk's Dominator, 9 power, 1 armor, and Taunt. It does interplay stunned, but it's very large, and this is a good one to put next to obviously something you want to protect, like the Disintegrator, perhaps. Yeah, it's pretty good. Then last card in Mars, we have Biomatrix Backup. You gain an Amber, and the creature it's attached to, when it's destroyed, goes into your archives. Notably, this was errated, so it says put this creature into its owner's archives. It's not a May ability anymore, which clears a lot of things up. So what's notably missing from this Mars setup is the ready cards like Blipip or John Smith or Squawker or Soft Landing or Compod. There are just none of those in here. But having said that, none of the abilities need you to have ready cards. So it's I think okay, and the cards are sort of strong on their own. I think a couple of Squawkers would be cool, but it is not bad. It's definitely not bad. Okay, next up we're into Shadows, and we do have a bait and switch. That is gonna definitely up the likelihood of the deck doing well, along with a Ghostly Hand, which is also good. Again, I say this all the time, but it's very, very true. 2 Amber is just good. 2 Amber plus Steel is stupid good. Then we have Nerve Blast, steal 1 if you do deal 2 damage to a creature. And then, we'll come back to the Nerve Blast. But yeah, it's a good card. Pawn Sacrifice, gain an amber, sacrifice a friendly creature. If you do, deal 3 damage each to 2 creatures. So we already see some good direct damage here. You know, we already have that Ammonia Clouds, but these are good just direct damage cards. Poison Wave, another direct damage card. Gain an amber, deal 2 damage to each creature. Again, this isn't going to kill most of your creatures, right? It'll kill the Disintegrator, and there's a couple Shadows creatures that it would kill, but generally speaking, this isn't going to hurt you probably as much as it'll hurt your opponent. We have Relentless Whispers, which gains you an amber. You deal 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, you steal 1. We actually have 2 of those. I always, mentally compare this to Nerve Blast, because they are definitely similar. Nerve Blast steals 1, and if you do, which means, if they had one in their hand, right? Or if they had an amber in their pool. If they have no amber in their pool, then Nerve Blast does absolutely nothing. But if they have at least 1, you steal it, and then you deal 2 damage to a creature. Relentless Whisper just gives you an amber, no matter what, and then deals 2 damage. And if it destroys that creature, you steal 1. So if they both completely fire, then the Relentless Whispers is better because you gained an amber, right? You gained an amber, you dealt 2 damage, and you stole 1, whereas Nerve Blast, you just stole 1 and dealt 2 damage. On the other hand, it's possible that there's, you get the amber and there's no way for you to deal 2 damage to kill a creature with that 2 damage. So then the Relentless Whispers is arguably worse. Nerve Blast, the only situation where it would be worse than that is if they just don't have amber in their pool, in which case it's a totally dead card. So anyway, similar cards that work kind of backwards and better for different situations. If your opponent has 2 amber and a 4 power creature and you have both in your hand, you can play Nerve Blast, you steal 1, do 2 damage, then you do the Relentless Whispers, deal the 2nd damage that kills the creature, and steal the 2nd one. So there's some ordering to take into account too. And now we're finally into the Shadows creatures. We don't have a lot of them. Naughty the Thief, 2 power, elusive, and can exhaust to steal 1. Dodger, 5 power, and when Dodger fights, it steals 1. That's pretty good. Umbra, 2 power, skirmish, and fight, steal 1. Urchin, 1 power, elusive, play, steal 1. Very good pawn sacrifice target. Notice all of these except for Dodger die to Poison Wave. They die to Ammonia Clouds. They also die to Relentless Whispers. So if you're in a situation where your opponent doesn't have any big creatures, but you have in your hand an Urchin and a Relentless Whispers, you can play the Urchin, steal 1, play the Relentless Whispers, kill your own Urchin, and steal another one, and that can be pretty cool. And then the last card we have here is a really fun one, really fun rare, Ring of Invisibility. Gain an amber, and then it upgrades a creature to give it elusive and skirmish. This is one of those upgrades. It's definitely going to give the thing you put it on paint a target on it. Your opponent's going to want to get rid of it. But on the other hand, it's elusive and it has skirmish. So I think the most obvious target for this in this deck is the Dodger, right? If you can have Ring of Invisibility on Dodger, that's pretty cool. You can deal 5 damage with skirmish and steal 1. That is really cool. Otherwise, I think putting it on the Dominator is not bad. Getting if you unstun it, getting to go do 9 damage with skirmish is pretty cool. Having taunt and elusive is pretty cool. So there's definitely a good target there. Putting it on Tunk wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think. What else? putting it on, you know, any of these big ones would be fine. Dicenia or Escotera, that'd be fine. Maybe the Dexter, putting it on Brain Eater is another great target, right? Because then you can go fight stuff, destroy them, draw a card, and it's essentially like a supercharged Quixo at that point. So there's a few good targets for the ring, and I would just say, you know, if I have it in my hand, I'm going to play it, and it's fine. You know, I'm just going to play it and be glad that I got it on something, and hope I can make good use of it. But if I can get it onto one of those, I'm going to be super happy. So anyway, this was Lamborbreak, the Bully Imp. It's pretty good. Nothing super flashy, but a lot of stuff that's just solid. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh yeah, another just quick note, I guess, since if you stuck around, then you get to hear a cool story. So yesterday, I went ahead and recorded some content. I also, you know, like I mentioned, wanted to rebrand my channel. So I went ahead and did that, and there was some stuff that just seemed not quite synced up, and I was like, well, that's weird. It initially wouldn't let me change the background picture, and then I could, and my profile picture on the branded account was showing up wrong for a while. I changed it to be a little zoom in on Deep Probe, on the poor Brobnar creature from Deep Probe, who apparently is being interrogated by Kylo Ren. But anyway, I changed it to that, but all I was seeing was a white letter A on a pink background, and I was like, something's wrong here. And then when I went to upload, nothing would work. So and I thought, well, maybe they just have some synchronization issues. It'll take a while. That didn't help. So this morning I posted asking for help. Nobody answered. And I finally went and thought, you know, I thought I had tried uploading on my new personal channel, but apparently I hadn't, because I went to try that and I actually had to recreate it. And at that point, then I tried to upload a longer video, and it said, oh, well, this is long, you need to get verified. And so then I went through the verify flow for my account, and about 10 minutes after that, I tried it immediately after to upload onto this channel, and couldn't do it. But after about 10 minutes or so, I tried again and it worked. So apparently it was, well, I suspect it was something around that just got knocked out of whack and had to be put back. But the messages and whatnot were just not helpful. But I was able to eventually figure it out, and I'm very glad, because that means that I can now share this with you in a timely manner. And with that, I'll just say I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you are interested in seeing more, then, you know, please go ahead and subscribe, and you'll see more. I'll put more of these up, and feel free to like as well if you did like it, and keep on forging.